Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9. We'll chant from verse number 21 to 26.
एतं भुक्त्वा स्वर्गलोकं विशालम् क्षीणे पुण्ये मर्त्यलोकं विशन्ति एवं त्रयी धर्ममनुप्रपन्नाः गतागतं कामकामा लभन्ते अनन्याश्चिन्तयन्तो माम् ये जनाः पर्युपासते तेषां नित्याभियुक्तानां योगक्षेमं वहाम्यहम् येऽप्यन्यदेवता भक्ताः यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः तेऽपि मामेव कौन्तेय यजन्त्यविधिपूर्वकम् अहं हि सर्वयज्ञानां भोक्ता च प्रभुरेव च न तु मामभिजानन्ति तत्त्वेनातश्च्यवन्ति ते यान्ति देवव्रता देवान् पितॄन्यान्ति पितृव्रताः भूतानि यान्ति भूतेज्याः यान्ति मद्याजिनोऽपि माम् पत्रं पुष्पं फलं तोयं यो मे भक्त्या प्रयच्छति तदहं भक्त्युपहृतम् अश्नामि प्रयतात्मनः
Last week we concluded with verse number 22, which is one of the most important portions of Bhagavad Gita, and literally also is the center of the book. There are 701 verses in Gita. So this verse is the center of the book. To those persons who worship me thinking of nothing else, ananya shintayanto ma. To those ever seeking union, I grant them yoga, I grant them kshema. Yoga kshemam vahamyaham. It's a direct promise from the Lord where He assures the entire humanity a state of liberation. No human being is denied this gift. The fact that we are born as a human being means we all have this potential to liberate ourselves from desires, to reach the ultimate state of spiritual enlightenment. All of us have that potential, provided you put right efforts and concerted efforts. So that is main. So if your efforts are systematic, if your efforts are as per the guidelines given by the scriptures, and you are consistent in your efforts, it's a matter of time. It is based on cause and effect. Nobody can deny that effect to you if you are willing to put the right cause. So when you put right efforts, your efforts are concerted, you get yoga, you get kshema, you get both. So we saw there are three meanings of the word yoga and kshema in this context. The first meaning is you get established in the spiritual path. gaining what you don't have right now. So you are at 20%, let's say you move up to 40% or 50%, and you maintain that growth. If you are truly established in a spiritual path, you do not regress. From 20, you move to 50, you maintain that 50. From moment to moment in this life, also you carry forward your growth in future. So your efforts never go to waste. This is what we all need to understand. Because some people, they ask this question genuinely, I mean, am I going to get enlightenment? We don't know. I mean, it's a rare thing. That does not mean we should not put efforts. If you're at 5% or 10%, 20%, 30% is far superior. If you're at 30, you put efforts. If you can move up to 50, 60, 70, why not? And that's what you carry forward. So that's the consolation. Again, it's based on cause and effect. It's not some blind faith. You know, somebody may say, who knows, whether I will carry forward this. It is based on cause and effect. That's the law. Then, second meaning in this context also is that ultimate state of enlightenment is assured to all of us. Yoga. And Kshema is you also get success in the world. A lot of people, they have this question, fine, if I devote my efforts on my spiritual growth, what will happen to my family? What will happen to my profession? So when your thoughts are on the higher, you work in the spirit of renunciation in day-to-day life. So your actions become more potent, more powerful. So whatever you are doing, it could be business, it could be in a particular profession, you could be in sports, you could be in politics, that sense of detachment you maintain in whatever you are doing. So therefore, your mind remains focused on the present task. This is how your actions become more powerful. You become more productive. You become more successful. So that is second meaning. The third meaning of yoga in this context is you get stability in spiritual pursuit because of your conviction. All of us would like that stability. It doesn't matter what is happening in our life, but we should be able to maintain our pursuit, our efforts. So gradually but surely, you get that stability in the spiritual path. And that leads to a state of peace and bliss, which culminates in a state of infinite peace. So this is a gist of what we discussed in verse number 22 last week. So are we clear with this verse? All the concepts are clear? Excellent. Verse number 23, please.
येऽप्यन्यदेवता भक्ताः यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः तेऽपि मामेव कौन्तेय यजन्त्यविधिपूर्वकम् येऽप्यन्यदेवता भक्ताः यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः तेऽपि मामेव कौन्तेय यजन्त्यविधिपूर्वकम्
Translation. Even those devotees who endowed with Shraddha, with faith, worship other gods, Deva, they also worship me alone, though contrary to traditional practice. Avidhi Purvakam. Vidhi Purvakam is as per the traditional practice. When you prefix word a, it is equivalent of non in English, cooperation, non-cooperation. So avidhi purvakam, not as per the traditional practice, contrary to traditional practice. So those devotees, those people who worship other gods, but they are sincere in their efforts. So gods in this context means worldly goals. We have been saying it number of times. I think in chapter 7 or 8, similar concept was discussed. There are a few verses, I don't remember which verses, but group is familiar with it. So gods, when it is used in plural, it means whatever you are pursuing in the world, finite goals. Gods and goddesses, they are not personalities, it's a concept. So they have divinized everything, whatever we are pursuing. Because wherever our mind goes, they have planted god and goddesses. So gods, when it is used in plural, it means all worldly material goals, finite goals. So it could be wealth, it could be position, it could be power, it could be knowledge, it could be family, all your finite pursuits. But you could be sincerely pursuing your worldly goals, material goals. You put a lot of efforts. So what Krishna is saying, even though you are worshipping other gods, even though you are following material goals, actually you are worshipping me, meaning you are worshipping, you are following infinite peace. That's what it means. Me meaning infinite peace, supreme reality. Because there is no satisfaction in any worldly pursuit. Whatever you are pursuing, you always want more. It's psychology, it's human psychology. You earn X amount of money, you cannot be satisfied. You want more. You gain X amount of power, you want more power. Somebody caters to you emotionally, you want more emotions. You acquire X amount of knowledge, you want more knowledge. So, what you are looking for actually in any pursuit is infinite peace. So therefore, Krishna says, actually, you are worshipping me. You are trying to find infinite peace, infinite bliss in all your worldly pursuits, which is not possible. Anything finite cannot give you infinite peace. You acquire large fortune, it may be huge, but still, at the end of the day, it is finite. You get name, fame, recognition, maybe you become Nobel laureate or whatever it may be. Still, you want more. You get power, you want more power. So anything worldly cannot give you infinite peace, infinite bliss, because it is finite. So therefore, Krishna says, even though you are worshipping other gods, actually you are worshipping me. That's the meaning. So not to be taken literally. A lot of people take these verses literally. Krishna alone you should follow, nobody else. No, you must understand what it means. See, first of all, the word Krishna itself means dark, unknown, meaning Atman, supreme reality. So, supreme reality is not known to us. So, no satisfaction in any worldly pursuits. You look within and you find out what is happening to you. You will understand. Because actually you want infinite peace. This is staggering. And you will not rest content till you reach the infinite, because that's your original nature. Because you are trying to find that infinite peace, infinite joy, infinite contentment in the wrong place. Wrong places in the world. And he says it is contrary to traditional practice. Avidhi purvakam. Why it is contrary to spiritual practice? Because traditional spiritual practices, they should lead to moksha, liberation, the ultimate goal of self-realization. And those who pursue worldly goals never gain whatever they're looking for in life. Externally, we all are doing that. So you, no doubt, you may enjoy a temporary peace or joy, but it is punctuated by sorrow. You cannot enjoy that consistent peace or bliss or contentment. Maybe for a while you are content, but then something goes wrong when your desires are not catered to. Again, you may experience sorrow or mental agitations. It's a question of more or less. And for argument's sake, you acquire everything in the world. You are relatively content. Still, incompleteness remains. That void remains. And anything from the world cannot remove that void. The only thing which can remove that void is knowledge, the knowledge of the self, not scholastically, when you reach the ultimate state. So, therefore, he says it is not in line with tradition. The tradition, the scriptural tradition, is your efforts should lead to a state of liberation. If it is not happening, then you are meandering in the world. So that's what it means. So what do you do? So you need to change your focus, not what you're doing. It's not that you shift from place A to place B is going to make any difference. No. Or you join some spiritual institution. Per se, it means nothing. So you don't have to give up your family. You don't have to change your profession. You don't have to do anything different. All you need to do is you need to change your focus. Focus is on the world right now. So that focus has to shift from the world to supreme reality, staying where you are, I repeat. And how you do that? By your daily study and reflection. There is nothing else. The focus is not going to shift one fine day. You need to put a lot of efforts. There is no doubt about that. But slowly and surely, you will find if you're associated with this knowledge every single day, your thoughts, they shift. And once your thoughts, your focus shifts towards supreme reality, then you don't care about what is happening in the world, meaning you remain wherever you are. You put efforts to the best of your ability. At the back of your mind, you know what's your ultimate mission in life. See, in photography, if you take a class, I mean, if you take a basic class, so right in the beginning, they teach you how to focus, you know. So if you keep an object in front of you, let's say you keep a banana on a dining table, or a basket of fruit, and you focus on that, it comes into sharp focus, but the background is blurred. So if you adjust your lens and let's say from that basket of fruit, you can see a lawn or you can see a tree through your window. You focus on that, that basket of fruit goes out of focus. It's a basic thing. Even in the movie and all, we see that, isn't it? It's a common thing. So it depends on where is your focus. So right now, focus is on the word. Name, fame, position, family, power, reputation. So therefore, supreme reality is out of focus. But when you focus on supreme reality, the world goes out of focus. Goes out of focus, meaning you do whatever you're doing to the best of your ability. but your ultimate goal is something different. And when or only when your focus shifts from the world to supreme reality, even partially, you can say, you will find that you are becoming more and more peaceful, content in life, happy in life, dynamic in life. So it's not in black and white. To the extent your focus shifts, how will your focus shift? How does it shift from the world towards supreme reality, even partially? How does it shift?
By association with this knowledge, study, and reflection.
By your daily study and reflection. There is no other way. There is no shortcut. Everybody wishes, oh, I wish there was some shortcut, and there is no such thing. For your daily association, 45 minutes every day is more than enough for all of us, maximum 1 hour every day. So when you do that, you are doing systematic study. Without you realizing, your focus shifts. That's the beauty. Because your focus is only on efforts. By efforts, I mean study reflection in this context. You're not result oriented. Gradually, you will find that change coming over you. And you change when you don't want to be changed. That's the beauty. When you want to change, nothing will happen. Because again, you become result oriented. So just do what you ought to do. I mean, 45 minutes is no big deal. And it's so refreshing, you know. Like early morning, we get up, first thing we do is we stretch. We feel so nice, That's what we see all the animals they're doing. If you have a dog or a cat at home, the first thing in the morning they do is, nice, good stretch, and then they are ready. So mentally, you feel refreshed, and then you are ready to face the world, do your obligatory duties. So that's the tradition. All your efforts should take you towards the ultimate goal of self-realization. So simple but very practical was verse number 23. And then he continues in 24.
अहं हि सर्वयज्ञानां भोक्ता च प्रभुरेव च न तु मामभिजानन्ति तत्त्वेनातश्च्यवन्ति ते अहं हि सर्वयज्ञानां भोक्ता च प्रभुरेव च न तु मामभिजानन्ति तत्त्वेनातश्च्यवन्ति ते.
Translation. I am indeed the enjoyer and also the Lord of all yajnas, actions, activities. But they do not know me in reality, hence they fall. Again, it is Bhagavad Gita is poetry. What it means? That self or God principle is the enlivening principle in all the activities. Whatever activities we are performing through body, mind, intellect. With body, you perceive and act. With mind, you feel emotions. With intellect, you entertain various thoughts. So what enlivens your perception, action, feelings, and thoughts is Atman, the self, the God principle. So it is the experiencing principle with which you experience everything and do everything. See, I am talking to you right now. What makes me speak is God. What makes you hear is God. With eyes, you register a sight. What makes you see is God principle. What makes you feel range of emotions, again, is a God principle. What makes you think with your intellect is God principle. You take away God principle from body, mind, intellect, what is left is nothing but matter, isn't it? Human being is a combination of spirit plus matter. Matter is body, mind, intellect. The body, mind, intellect on its own has no life in it. It's just a matter. It's a combination of subtle and gross matter. So it is the God principle which gives life, sentiency to this material equipment. So on its own is nothing. So you just, this is finger, it moves, right? Or you remove your head, it moves. But on its own is nothing. So you cut this finger, I mean, pardon the example, you keep it on a table, and what is it? It's like a piece of wood, is a piece of stone. There's absolutely nothing in there, isn't it? So body, mind, intellect on its own, they cannot function. So it is a self which enlivens everything, whatever we are doing with our material equipments, body, mind, and intellect. So it's like, I mean, a lot of us drive EV cars nowadays, isn't it? And some other cars are like, they do so many things. With a tiny little screen, and there could be tons of apps there. And everything you control by those apps. I'm talking about electric vehicle. If there is no electricity, what will happen? I know thought is scary. That's the reason a lot of people don't buy EVs. Don't have to worry. Personally, I've been using for more than 5 or 5.5 years. Only once it happened that there was something wrong with the supercharger, you know. So there's a line of cars, like 20, 25 cars were lined up. But the next supercharger was just 20 miles away. So it's no big deal. So your car is nothing minus electricity. The whole thing comes to a standstill. So ignorant people do not understand this. That's the philosophical implication, that whatever I am doing with my body, mind, intellect, without God principle, what can I do? But due to ignorance, you develop that ego. So you read the translation, I am indeed the enjoyer and also the Lord of all activities. But if you are ignorant, you believe that I am doing it. It's my body, it's my perceptions, my actions, my feelings, my thoughts. Minus God principle, what are you? Big zero. So ignorant people, they are not aware of the role of God in our life. So therefore, they develop this ego, lose sight of the God principle, and get entangled in the world. This is happening to all of us. It's a question of more or less. So when you develop this ego, when you are ignorant, when you get entangled in the world, what is the price you pay? So there is no peace, there is stress, your actions are impoverished, and also you are subject to the cycle of birth and death. See, that's the meaning when he says, hence they fall. So that last line I am trying to explain. Hence they fall, meaning what? When you arrogate everything to yourself, whatever you are doing in life, that ego develops, that I am doing it, it's my all my achievement. So when your focus shifts from the God principle in you to your material equipment, to all your activities, and you arrogate every activity or all the activities to yourself, what is the price you pay? So Moment there is ego, there is mental agitation. It's a question of more or less. More the ego, more the mental agitations. And by default, we all have to have ego. So your focus is firmly on your individuality. So that itself is mental agitations. And you go on feeding that ego. I am doing this. I am successful. I am this. I am that. So therefore, there is no peace. There is worry. There is anxiety. Therefore, your actions are not productive. Actions are impoverished. Hence, they fall. Are you able to get the connection? Hence, they fall means what? All this. Plus, you are feeding your ego and egocentric desires throughout your life. And when you are feeding your ego and egocentric desires, you are subject to the cycle of birth and death. Repeated birth, repeated death. Hence, they fall. Does it make sense now? Otherwise, what do you mean by fall? So all of us are falling. It's the question of more or less. But fortunately, we have the capacity to lift ourselves up. But when you aware God principle, self, Atman, use any word, in all your activities, in all perceptions, in all actions, in all emotions, in all thoughts, you become objective. You're not involved in what you're doing in life. Peace and success follows. Again I repeat, what makes me speak is God. What makes me hear is God. It doesn't matter what we hear. I think last week somebody asked this question, and rightly so. A lot of people are talking about whatever, war, or whatever it may be. See, you can't prevent people talking from whatever they are talking. You have no control. Also, you have no jurisdiction on what they should talk. So even if they are talking, let's say, rubbish, what makes them speak is God. How does it matter what do they talk? Isn't it? What makes me perform actions is God principle. What makes me feel various emotions is God. What makes me aware of my thoughts is the God principle. So when you aware this self principle, this God principle in all your activities, good, bad, indifferent, you don't get involved in the world. You become relatively objective. And when you're objective, when you're not involved, when you are peaceful, you become productive, you're successful in life. But the challenge is keep awareing self or God principle throughout the same formula. It is your daily association with this knowledge. The moment you lose your focus, you get involved. It's a question of more or less. In fact, all of us are involved. Yeah, I've given this example. Again, I'm giving it to you. I knew, like in the group of people, they were good friends. 5, 6 of them, doing quite well in life, successful in corporate sector. So they used to say it's a very high stress job. So they joined a badminton club, like badminton, they play with shuttle. 6, 7 of them were like good friends. Some, in fact, 4, 5 of them were childhood friends. And they invited me for a couple of games. So I joined them. Mostly I was watching. 2, 3 times I must have gone. And on all the occasions, it ended with a big, big fight. Huge fight. It was not any sports, it was not any match. I mean, according to them, like they used to play badminton just to, like, cool down. And all were very close friends. And one day, in fact, in my third visit, one guy pushed the other guy. It came to almost physical blows. So other friends, they intervened, and then that was the end of that day's match. It was too much, and then we all went to a guy who had pushed to his home, and other friends, they complained. See, this is what your husband is doing. So I said, no more playing badminton. Enough is enough. It's becoming like a headache. See, because when they come home, they start complaining about other fellows. Office, they are complaining all day. They bring whatever office politics, this and that, with their discuss with their spouse. As it is, wives are fed up. They go to play badminton to have a good time, and it's chaos. So, what is the gist of the example? A simple example. It could happen to you and me. They used to play badminton for what? Any sports. It could be golf, doesn't matter, lawn tennis.
For enjoyment.
For enjoyment. And what went wrong?
Worldly actions.
Mm-hmm.
Focus was lost.
Focus was lost. I'm playing badminton, golf for what? Just to have a good time. So the moment I forget that, I get involved, you know. So the moment your focus shifts from self to the world, to whatever activities you are engaged in, by default, you will get involved. Stress, worry, anxiety, agitations, disharmony, conflicts. For what? For no reason. So therefore, the formula is keep that awareness of self or Atman going 24/7. It has to be done at all times. But you will not be able to do this unless you have unconditional surrender to this knowledge. See, there is a direct cause and effect relationship. Now, somebody may say, okay, thank you for telling me the formula. Now, from tomorrow onwards, I will be aware of God principle, in all my actions. You may do it. We're not saying you should not try it once in a while. It is useful. But beyond a point, you will not be able to do it. Why you will not be able to do it? Do you have that unconditional surrender to this knowledge of the scriptures? No doubts, no indecisions, no suspicions, no doubting Thomases. It's all symbolic. That attitude of gratitude towards this knowledge, towards these masters who have imparted this knowledge to us. So if you have that unconditional surrender, if you have that gratitude towards this knowledge, towards the Guru, this attitude itself shifts your focus to the self, to the God principle. See, I repeat, your focus is what? Your focus on the self, focus on God principle is what? That unconditional surrender to this knowledge. That attitude of gratitude towards this knowledge, towards your Guru or whoever your Guru is. So this attitude itself shifts your focus to the self. Or this attitude itself is the focus on the self. Do you get my point? If you don't have this, you fall. Again, it applies. Hence, they fall. So fall meaning what? You stagnate in the spiritual path. You don't grow the way you should be growing because that ego is there. I can take care of myself. Do I really need this knowledge? That devotion is lacking. So if you approach Bhagavad Gita or any scripture with this attitude, you will not grow in the spiritual path. Hence, they fall. Because your ego is there. See, some of you have done Upanishads. In fact, we are doing Upanishad every Sunday. Isavasa Upanishad we are doing. So in one of the Upanishads, student approaches the master. Master is sitting somewhere in the Himalayas. And the word which they use is Vidhi Purvakam. With all traditional orthodoxy, the student approaches the master. It's all symbolic. So how does he approach a master? He's carrying firewood on his head. Because somewhere in the Himalayas, cold part of the world, the guru is sitting all by himself. So what he needs is like the firewood. So student has that understanding. So he carries that firewood as a guru dakshina for his master. Also, he has that spirit of inquiry and spirit of service towards his master. With this attitude, he approaches the master, the guru, carrying firewood. He wants to serve the master, the hope that one day he will impart knowledge to me, and also he has that spirit of inquiry. So this attitude itself means your focus is on something higher, on the self, on the God principle, on the supreme reality. Are you getting what I am trying to convey? See, that is why traditionally, you must have seen some of the Indians they're doing. They prostrate to a master. Even in the temple they go, it's called as Ashtanga Namaskar, meaning you lie down horizontally on the ground with your hands stretched out, and. So it means the substratum of your guru's personality, or even ideally, if you take the substratum of the personality, is nothing but the self, which is the all-pervading reality. So you want to be one with that all-pervading reality. So your head and heart, they symbolize the mind and intellect. When you're standing straight, standing erect, it is ego. But when you bow down, when you lie flat on the ground, it's total surrender. So your mind intellect is in line with the supreme reality. That's the meaning. So coming back, so this attitude itself means you already have that focus. If you don't have this attitude of gratitude, total surrender, your ego pops up. So the moment your ego pops up, that's the beginning of your fall, hence they fall. So now you read the translation. I am indeed the enjoyer and also the Lord of all activities. But they do not know me in reality, ignorant people. Hence they fall. So are we okay? We'll do one more verse number 25, please.
यान्ति देवव्रता देवान् पितॄन्यान्ति पितृव्रताः भूतानि यान्ति भूतेज्याः यान्ति मद्याजिनोऽपि माम् यान्ति देवव्रता देवान् पितॄन्यान्ति पितृव्रताः भूतानि यान्ति भूतेज्याः यान्ति मद्याजिनोऽपि माम्.
Those who worship the devas, in this context, it means senses. The word deva also means illuminator of the senses. Those who worship the senses go to the senses. The worshippers of ancestors go to ancestors. The worshippers of the elements go to elements. And those who worship me come to me. Me meaning Supreme Reality. So he is talking about different worldly pursuits. He just mentions 2 or 3 or 4, whatever. So it includes all our worldly pursuits, whatever you are pursuing in the world. So the law is you get what you pursue in life. It's fascinating. So he's highlighting few main pursuits and the results of these pursuits. That is main. You get what you pursue. You can pursue whatever. And what is the price you pay? What is the effect of these pursuits? So if you pursue supreme reality, the effect is you get supreme reality, or you get spiritual evolution. You become a better human being, and eventually you merge with supreme reality, if that's what your pursuit is. So first pursuit which he mentions is worshippers of devas go to devas. If you are pursuing sense gratification, that's what you end up with. People who pursue sense gratification, that's their aim in life. We all have, we know we have 5 senses: eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. And for these 5 senses, there are corresponding sense objects. So people who are sensualist, people who are pleasure loving, people who are indulgent, their focus in life is to have good time. That does not mean you should not have good time. I mean, don't take it to the extreme, but is that your only focus in life? There are people who live just for that. Every day I want to party. All I want to do is have good time, indulge in senses. So if that's what you are pursuing, that's what you get. Your efforts are to acquire and enjoy. Only these 2 motivations, they drive your life. You want to acquire. Having acquired, you want to enjoy in these senses. See, there are people who want to experience different restaurants, wherever they go. First of all, in their city, they have, I don't know, raided all the restaurants. There is nothing. West Bloomfield, for example. Fortunately, not much is happening in West Bloomfield, a handful of good restaurants. So you may go to Troy, you may go to Birmingham, you may go to downtown Detroit, whatever, Then you go to New York, Manhattan, then God be with you. I mean, every other restaurant is a good restaurant. I'm just giving you example. The focus is on food, foodies or whatever you want to call them. There are people who have weakness for sightseeing. Fine, once in a while you can see what's wrong with that. But right from Antarctica to Timbuktu, they've gone 5 times. Again, they want to go 6 times. The whole effort is spent on that sightseeing. Whole effort, the focus is on eating in a good restaurant. It could be on wine tasting, All of us have been to Niagara Falls. The main attraction in Niagara Falls is what? Niagara Falls. I mean, what kind of a question is this? But also, it is known for the many wineries there, See, we're not saying it is wrong. So the focus is on that. So if you pursue senses, that's what you get. Your entire effort is on that. So you become a sensualist person, indulgent person, and you are victimized by senses whole life. Usually you are victimized by 1 or 2 senses, but there are people who are victimized by all the senses. And it continues. It's not that it's going to end. When you become old, body does not cooperate. your sensual thoughts do not go away. Kama vikara is not possible. But kama vichara you can't prevent. Vichara is thinking. Your thoughts, body cannot, once body is whatever age body is not in a good shape. It's not that we are talking about sensualist person, indulgent person. Body does not cooperate. What you do when you are 25, 30, how can you do towards the end of your life? But the thoughts keep going. In fact, it becomes worse. Your body is not cooperating, so you become frustrated. So in that sense, we use the word kama vikara. Vikara means activity. Sensual activities are not possible because body does not cooperate. But kama vichara goes on. So that's what you get. This is how you start your life, maybe at age of 14, 15, 16. This is how you end up in your life, a sensualist person. So worshippers of senses go to the senses. Are you with me? This is how you are lost in life. Understood? Worshippers of ancestors go to ancestors. See, there are people who are quite attached to ancient tradition, culture, customs. And again, don't take it, that does not mean you should not participate. But participation is one thing, and being attached to it is totally a different thing. So the people who are totally attached to their tradition, their culture, their customs, See, I must have been invited to give talks at various organizations in Grand Rapids. India, everybody knows, is a huge country. I think there are 28 or 30 states, and each state is a country in itself. It's fascinating. If you go from Maharashtra to South India, you could be in a different country. Literally speaking, there is no, everything is different. From there, if you go to Kashmir, it's totally different. So many of these Indians, they have these associations. Tamil association, the Maharashtrian people, they have their own associations. And every year they meet and they have like gala events. So usually in Michigan, it happens in Grand Rapids. And I must have addressed 3 such huge, large gatherings. The people who invited me, some of them were class members, like well-meaning people. But on all 3 occasions, nobody turned up for Vedanta lectures. I'm not complaining. I like Grand Rapids. Go have river walk. Downtown is nice. From there, go see Lake Michigan. They pay for my one day's stay. So I'm not complaining. But nobody means nobody. 3, 4 people they turned up, and there were at least 3,000, 5,000 people totally involved in costumes and food and this and that. And that continues. The event is done annually. So as soon as event is over, they start planning for the next year's event. You get my point? And once in 3 years is a grand event. So these grand events I addressed. So whole life goes in pursuit of this. Are you able to understand what I am trying to say? So you could be lost in the pursuit of sensuality. You could be lost in the pursuit of tradition, culture, and customs, and worshipper of elements, they go to elements. See, elements, meaning people who are fond of nature, or scientists. National Geographic channel, they organize tours in different parts of the world. I know one couple, they have done at least 6 to 7 cruises or whatever educational tours organized by National Geographic. No, I'm not saying it is wrong. I mean, whole life goes in that. Today you see this part of the world, tomorrow you go that particular wonder of the nature. That is one way to understand. And also the scientist. So again, not to be taken in a negative sense. You could be completely lost in that. Like my nephew, he is 27. I mean, he got his PhD when he was 24, 25, and today he heads the quantum physics department in Switzerland for that particular uni. Is very famous, brilliant guy. But there is no way we can get this message across to him. I'm not talking about his commitment. You need that kind of commitment to pursue whatever he is doing. But does he not need this knowledge? Forget about the goal of liberation, even to manage his life. You know, simple things could be bothering you. I'm just giving you as an example. So completely lost in that pursuit. Point is, you are lost in a different pursuit. One person may be completely lost because he's indulgent in the senses. Another person could be lost because he or she is attached to all these traditions and customs and whatnot. Third person could be lost in pursuing elements. But those who worship me, they come to me. So if you pursue supreme reality, that's what you get. From relative point of view, if you invest your time and energy on becoming a better human being, that's what you become. You become a better human being. So God remains neutral. That God principle remains neutral. This is what we have to understand. So you decide how you want to manage your life. So carry on with whatever you're doing in life. Again, that's the conclusion for this verse. But you need to invest time and effort in study and reflection. What's your purpose in life? There is no end to exploring dream world. But that's not real. I mean, you belong to the waking state. You're a waker. So similarly, this world itself is a maya, it's an illusion. So there is no end to exploring this world. There is no end to getting lost in this world. And we are lost, completely lost. How we are lost, this is what he is telling. He just mentions 2 or 3 pursuits. You could be lost in politics. Again, there is nothing wrong in politics. It's a great tool to reform the world, but you could be lost. I mean, there is no end to it. So carry on with whatever you're doing in life, but invest daily in the study of the scriptures. Slowly but surely, it will pull you out of the non-essentials of life, in which we all are caught up. That doesn't mean change whatever you are doing. But you understand what is essential, what is non-essentials. Nobody can explain it to you. So only when you get that focus, you will know what are these non-essentials of life. And where there is only one essential, everything is non-essential. To find out your identity. Every day, 45 minutes, 1 hour, you need to invest in that. I mean, what's the big deal? And when your mind changes with this knowledge, your external environment also changes. Demand and supply. If you are with, I'm magnifying again, don't take it literally. If you are with drug addicts, if you have desire for drugs, you will be in the company of drug addicts. If you are a gambler, you will be in the company of gamblers. If you're an indulgent person, who wants to have party all the time, you will be in a similar company. But when you get interested in this knowledge and your pursuit starts, automatically you will find that you are in the company of sattvic people. People who have some mission in life, people who want to pursue this knowledge sincerely. That kind of company you will be involved in, those kind of activities you will be involved in. And that gives lift to your personality. That is important. What gives lift to your personality is when your mind changes, the external environment around you changes. You change it. It's not that somebody changes it for you. And this is how your focus shifts from all worldly pursuits to something meaningful. And when that happens, it gives lift to your personality. And then you start working towards your ultimate mission in life. So again, it is demand and supply. I mean, you get what you want to pursue. So you need to ask yourself, what is it that I want in life? Again, the verse highlights cause and effect. But God principle remains neutral. He says you manage your life. You want to party, party. Without God principle, you can't party. You want to get caught up in all these traditions, okay, you do that. I will bless you. You want to come to me, you come to me. So ask yourself, what is it that you want in life? So are we okay? I mean, there are so many concepts here. I mean, we can go on and on. So I'm just throwing main ideas at you. So you start reflecting, start discussing these concepts among yourself. So anything not clear from what we discussed today? Verse 23, 24, 25. These three verses we discussed. All right. So enjoy your long weekend. Those who attend Upanishad, I will see you tomorrow. Otherwise, next week.